Okay, so tonight we have a sample of High and Wicked. This is the Judge offering. The sample is another one from Ken. High and Wicked is a non-distilling producer. They source from a lot of places. Reading on their website, they don't just do bourbon. I think that's like their primary source, but their website said that they've done some Irish whiskeys and they've got some Scotch coming, which I'm curious how they're going to do that. With the legal requirements of Scotch, being it has to be aged and barreled and bottled. It's got to be bottled before it leaves Scotland. So that'll be interesting. But that's for another time. So this one is sourced from Tennessee. It's 104 proof. It is aged 14 years in a new charred oak American white oak barrel with a number 4 char. And then it spends another 6 months in ex-Hungarian Tojaki wine casks. It is column distilled. Its mash bill is 84 corn, 8 rye, and 8 malted barley. So I haven't had anything from them, so I'm kind of looking forward to this one. You see it's got a nice dark color. It's a nice deep oak. Slight sweetness to it. Yeah. It's interesting. It's kind of fruity, but then on the back end, there's that bitter dark chocolate. That's like a pastry with like honey and nuts and caramel on it. Very, very bready. But then there's that, the very back of the palate, you get that bitter dark chocolate. Yeah, that's a good one. And now I'm starting to get that on the palate, that bready pastry. It's almost like it's got that, there's a fruity note to it, so it's almost like a filled pastry, but it would be like a blend of like a jelly or spread made with darker fruits. Not very sweet. Yeah, that is a fruit-filled pastry, nuts and caramel on the top. That is good. That is good. It's got that little bit of bitter there in the back end, but it's not anything off-putting. Like I said, it kind of reminds me of dark chocolate. Not quite as much as some others do, but it's there. Yeah. And this... because they do some bourbons and ryes, and then they have their like singular release program, and that's where the Judge is at. That's the category they have it in. So yeah, that's it's funny mentioning that they're going to bring in some Scotch and they've done some Irish. The funny thing, what I find funny, is the difference in the way American whiskey looks at non-distilling producers or people that source, as compared to like Scotch. Like in Scotch, it's kind of that's what people look for, as opposed to the actual distillery. Now, there is a lot of transparency. A lot of times, those non-distilling producers will let you know where they got their whiskey, who it came from. But then they take it, they do their own aging, their own blending, their own thing to it, and put their own different spin on another Scotch that's been around. Whereas in America, and I think probably the reason some of that is the case is because there are a lot of distilleries that don't list themselves as a non-distilling producer, whether because they are eventually distilling their own, or there's that connotation of being sourced. You're starting to see more, or at least I'm starting to see, and it may be just because I'm new to it, so I'm starting to see some of it, but you're seeing these, to what I perceive as an attitude change toward, because now you have like High and Wicked, you have Southern Collective and Nashville Barrel Company, and all those that are very transparent with the fact that they are sourced, and they may not tell you the specific distillery, but they let you know it came from Kentucky, or it came from Indiana, or it came from Tennessee, or where. And I think that goes a long way. I think it comes across as shady whenever a distillery will play fast and loose with the rules and source their whiskey and just say produced by, and leave out the fact that they got it from MGP, or they got it from Bardstown, or they got it from Barton. And they tend to try to pass it off on as their own. At least that's the way I see it. I may be full of shit, and I probably am. But coming from, as I started my whiskey journey, I started out getting back into bourbon and then branching into Scotch. And I got into that pretty heavy, and I nerded out a lot on it and did a lot of studying. And then only within the last year of my 2-year journey that I really started going back heavy toward bourbon, and I'm learning a lot. But seeing those parallels and the different ways that the two whiskeys look at being sourced or non-distilling producer, it's interesting to me. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So tonight was High and Wicked, and I hope y'all enjoyed.